This is probably the most chaotic first episode ever. Okay, is my shadow giving like Mr. Kim Tae-hyung? Am I like same effect? Anyways, welcome. Hi everyone, welcome to the Let's Talk with Jen segment series on my channel. I'm starting a new series on my channel because I finally got a mic and I hope it's okay because I did like one little test and that's all because I'm professional over here. Anyways, I've been really wanting to just do a fun little series on my channel where I get to really talk with you guys in the camera, and I want it to be fun. Not fun. Yes, of course I want it to be fun. I want it to be entertaining, but I also just wanted it to be like vibey. So I have the fun little light on that's like glaring to my eyeball. I got my beautiful paintings that I painted myself right there because I'm an artist. No, I also just really wanted a form of content where you guys actually got to know more of my personality better and more of my interests, because in my vlogs they're like more of that aesthetic vibe. And don't get me wrong, I love vlogging. Like, vlogging is so fun, but I will say sometimes I don't really get, I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was really weird. Sorry. You'll notice I get so distracted and I just go on like so many tangents. Let's digress from there and just focus on what I was saying. The point is, I want to do content that allows me to talk more, because I feel like I don't do that enough in my vlogs, and I feel like this will help me open up to doing that more in my vlogs. But anyways, this is going to be really fun, this podcast, because we are going to talk about so many different things, so many different topics. I have so many fun ideas planned. Today's podcast, we're going to talk about K-pop, guys. K-pop. Oh my god. If you guys don't know, you may or may not know, but I'm a K-pop stan. I've been a K-pop stan since 2017. Since the wave, the really big wave, I think, of K-pop. There's always been waves, but I feel like 2017 was really the one that cemented it. Like, the huge wave of global fans. You know, with BTS DNA. That's how I got into them and K-pop in general. So we're gonna just talk about myself, because everything's about me here. No, but yes. I am going to talk about just how I got into K-pop and what are my thoughts on 3rd gen and 4th gen right now. And I'm pretty sure 5th gen is opening up really soon, which is actually insane to think about because that's wild. 5th gen. Hold on. I have it pulled up here. Is there 5th gen? It says Zero Base 1, ZB1 is the 5th generation K-pop boy group, but I'm not sure if that's true, so I'll probably have to fact check that. But that's actually insane. I've been with K-pop with 3rd gen, 4th gen, and now it's gonna be 5th gen, which is crazy. I was talking about this because here's the thing with this podcast. I really like the idea of it. Well, it's not a podcast, I don't know, it's a podcast type video vibe. That's what we're going for. I always have these talks with myself in my room because I'm really cool. And I always go into deep thought and conversation about so many different topics. I'll just be watching a YouTube video or a K-drama, whatever, and I just have opinions. And that's really all this is gonna be. Just my opinions. Shut up. My opinions matter. But yeah, I was ranting about this to myself the other day, where I feel like it's just so crazy to me how new K-pop stans, baby K-pop stans right now, when they're getting into K-pop, they are familiar with the groups that are really popular for them are New Jeans, TXT, Stray Kids, all that. And when I was getting into K-pop, those groups weren't even formed yet. They weren't even they probably were getting formed, but they hadn't debuted yet. Like Idol, like all those groups that are really popular right now in fourth gen, like they weren't even like in the industry yet, which is insane to me. So the groups that I knew when I was getting into K-pop was, BTS, GOT7, Monster X, 17, Red Velvet, Blackpink, Twice, all of them. And even when I was like first getting into K-pop, I didn't even really know who Blackpink was. Like I think they just debuted around then, which is insane because I remember this one day where like my friend who also like was just getting in K-pop at the time, she came across So Hot, the cover like by Blackpink, and told me to check it out. Like she really loved the song, and I was like, "They're cool," but I never would have thought in a million years like where they are right now. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. But yeah, that's just like to show the how far and how different it is now, especially like what I consumed with K-pop media wise then versus what I watch now, and how K-pop has just introduced me to so many different interests and likes. It's literally my whole personality, like everything. But for sure, like the media I would consume would be like for variety shows. I would watch Weekly Idol, Home Alone because of like Hwasa and all that. I don't really like watching Weekly Idol anymore, just because I grew out of it. I don't really watch shows like those anymore. Like those, they're kind of like rigid variety shows. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like K-pop stands who like watch that kind of show would know what I'm talking about. But for sure, those kind of shows I don't watch anymore because, especially the host. If you guys know that, like the host for Weekly Idol, you would understand my reasoning as to why I don't watch those anymore, just because I don't really like the way the idols were treated on there, and it's very like cookie cutter, here to promote my music. I don't feel like I really get to see the real selves, which is why I love shows like, or like programs like Going 17. Oh my god, I love 17. I'm a 17 stan. If you're wondering, my bias is Minghao, the A. I love that man. And my bias records are Tino and DK. I love them so much. But now I watch the like type of shows I watch now, like variety show wise. I watch Funsterant. It's so good because I think it's perfect show for me because I love cooking and their cooking, and I love like watching like people's lives and stuff, celebrity lives, and it's so fun to watch. It's amazing. This is my favorite person on the show. I can't remember his name right now, but it's fine because all you need to know is I love him with my whole heart. But anyways, I digress. So that was a lot of what I want to talk about. Let's see, what else do I have? Third gen. Oh my god, I'm a third gen girly, and I think it's obvious I have a lot of bias in that, as I did enter the K-pop world as a third gen stan, so it makes sense. Also, here is the thing. I will say, I love to go on tangents. It's crazy. I will say the thing is, with second gen, I never realized, like when I was getting like, as I watched K dramas in like the past couple years, that I never realized how many second gen idols are actors. So many of them. It's crazy. Anyways, that was a little tangent. Where was I? Third gen, right? I'm a third gen girly. I'm a third gen stan. I will always be a third gen stan. Always in my heart. It's just something about 2017, 2018, the nostalgia of like that time, and just everything, like all the groups that were formed. I never watched like idol survival shows. Here's the thing. I don't really like to watch them. I watched maybe one, not even an episode. I watched clips on YouTube of like Produce 101 with 101. I never really watched it. I only looked into 101 when I saw their, I think it was 101 Go or something. I can't remember, but it was like a show that they did where they lived in this warehouse type beat. It sounds weird. It sounds crazy, but it's not. It looked really cute. If I can find pictures, it's right here. But it was so fun to watch and see their personalities, and I fell in love with 101 at that moment in time. But I never watched Produce 101. I didn't watch the one with IOI. I watched like maybe the first episode of Island. I just can never get into those kind of shows just because for me, I can't watch like young people get ripped apart and torn to shreds like that. I'm like, no, I can't do that. But I can understand how it really makes, like, it creates a connection for the fans, and I can understand that. But for me, I can't do it. I'll watch you when you debut, but I just cannot watch that. It's just too harsh, man. I'm a sensitive baby. I think that's part of that. I'm just a sensitive little bubble. But yeah, that's me with variety shows, or not variety shows, survival, like idol shows. I didn't know that Monster X and Stray Kids were like from survival shows. That was crazy. And Twice. Like, the more you know, it's kind of crazy. One thing I will say about like variety shows is that, or no, I keep saying variety shows, idol shows, is that to me, I don't understand why they have these and then only have the groups be promoting for 2 years and not have like a place where they can renew their contract, because you have these set like groups, you have these set people in these groups that like fans love, fan favorites, right, in these groups, and then you have them disband 2 years later, right? And of course that's what the contract says, but then they can't renew. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure like people who actually watch these like shows know like why they do it, but to me it just doesn't make sense, because you create this loyal fan base and then it all goes away, and then all the fans are sad, and then the idols are sad. It's like everyone's sad. They're like, why are we all sad here, right? Like, why can't we just be happy? Why can't we just be happy? You know, I guess that's just part of baiting us in, reeling us in, everyone. Anyways, so my point was I was talking about third gen. How did I get into this? Anyways, let's go back to third gen. Let's talk about my favorite groups. Oh my god. So obviously I already mentioned that the first group that helped pave the way into my 6 years of K-pop standing is BTS, 방탄소년단. Hey, ARMY, where are my armies at? Yeah. My bias is Mr. Min Yoongi, by the way. Just so you guys know, I love that man, Mr. Sugar. I do want to say I pride myself on being a loyal fan. Like, I have never switched my bias since I got into K-pop, and I'm proud of it. Now, I will say, like, I've switched my bias wreckers, but that's because the group that I have, it's impossible to have one bias, like wrecker, or one bias. But I've never really changed my biases ever. So it's always been Yoongi since day one, and I love him. Please don't take that literally. That is not supposed to be literal. Other groups, I stand 17. That's the group I was talking about with the multiple biases. I love 17. 17 right. Oh, that was probably close to the mic. 17 right here. 17 right here. 17 right here. Sorry. My bias is Mingham. I already said that. I already said my bias wreckers. Look at me. Using my memory. Yeah, no, I love 17. My bias wreckers before, though, were Joshua and Wonu. Wow, you can see my hand movements. I'm so sorry. I'm such a hand talker. Like, I can't help it. I'm gonna try to keep my hand here. But I'm just so expressive with my hands in that way. Anyways, so yeah, I love 17. I started standing them during like quarantine. It's really when I got into them. This video is gonna be really long if I try to talk about how I like really got into every group, but like it's just so random the places I have come across certain groups. Like, example, 17, Twice, GOT7. Those are like 3 groups that I came across all because of one segment on YouTube, which was Ask in the Box. I don't know if the mic's closed. I don't know if anyone remembers or has ever seen Ask in the Box on YouTube, but they had those 3 groups on there, and that's how I came across them. Well, of course, I've heard of their names in K-pop, not Twice though, oddly enough, or GOT7, but 17 I heard because of Ogushipiana. But yeah, because of the Ask in the Box, I was introduced to like 3 groups, which is crazy. And then the Weekly Idol is how I found out about, or I discovered about Monsta X and SF9. So yeah, I'm a multi-stan, if you guys didn't pick up already. I don't know why I need to clarify that, but I am. Let's get to the real important real important group that you guys need to know that I stan with my whole life, and that is, I only stan one girl group. I will say I'm a boy group stan. I'm not a girl group stan. I respect them though. I listen to their music and they have amazing music. And I will say, in the last couple of like in the last year or so, I feel like girl groups have been slaying so hard. Like Le Seraphim, Stacy, New Jeans, I've so hard, like slaying. Boy groups I don't know about so much. I feel like there were a smaller amount of songs that I put on my playlist for boy groups. There were still songs, don't get me wrong, but smaller amount. Anyways, so the group that I stan, the only girl group that I stan in this K-pop industry is Mamamoo. I said Mamamoo. Mamamoo. Yes, my queens, the queens of K-pop. I dare you to fight me on this. They are. I love them so much. They are so amazing. And my bias is Miss Jung Lee-hin. I love her. She is the ace of K-pop. Again, argue with me if you want to. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, guys. Argue with me if you want to, because you can't. Because she is my ult. She's my ult. I think did I really just like claim it here that like Miss Jung Lee-hin is my ultimate bias? Maybe not. I can say though for sure that she's my ult among girl groups, but I don't know if that counts for much because I don't really stan girl groups, but she is my ult. I love her so much. She's so perfect, and I've never met an idol like her. I didn't meet her in person, but I really love her, and I plan to see the Mamamoo movie in theaters. I'm very excited, but let's stay on track. So yeah, Mamamoo. What else? In general, I just feel like 2017 and 2018 K-pop was just the golden era because of there's so many good songs that came out, like 빛나는 밤, Starry Nights, a lot of BTS songs. You know, it was like that golden era. Sunmi's Gashina, like so many trending songs came out during that time. So iconic, laid the foundation of like what K-pop was. There was just a certain vibe that you like as a 2018, 2017 K-pop stan, you know what that vibe was. It was like the styling, the tight ripped jeans, the striped long like shirts with the baseball cap, the black baseball cap with like the rings on them. You know what I mean? Like there was just a certain look and feel, like Nikim, like it was just so nostalgia, guys. It's just if I could like go back and relive that feeling of just falling into like 2018 K-pop, I would. Oh my god, I would break an arm and leg for it. I would. It's so. Oh my god, concerts. This is a topic to talk about. I have a little listy of things I want to talk about, and there's so much, guys. There's so much. So I think we all notice, and I know the reason why there's so many concerts this year, because we finally get to like go back to like a normal life, a daily life where we're not worrying about contact with other people. That now this year has just been K-pop concerts on top of each other, and I'm so freaking sad I missed 17 and Mamamoo. Like, I'm so sad I got to miss my two top like groups. They're like my top of the top K-pop groups, and I didn't even get to see them, and I probably won't get to see them until they're 30. Not even, some of them are already 30. So sorry, Youngsun. So sorry, Solar. But like I probably won't be able to see them until like way later, and I'm so sad about that, because it's just all their songs are so perfect. Like I loved every song on like that they were performing, and just the way both groups outshined everything. It was just, I'm so sad I missed it. That was just my tiny rant on K-pop concerts, though. There's a lot though, for sure. CIX went on a concert recently, like this year, or like it was beginning, or it was like the end of last year, I think, or something like that. I love CIX, by the way. They're like a new boy group, or they're not a new boy group, but they're a boy group that's like crawling their way into my little heart, my icy heart. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. I loved Movie Star, and I started like actually getting into them recently, because I will say there are some groups that I don't know if you guys have the same experience, but there are some groups that I really, really like, and I really respect them, and I love their discography. They have such good discography, but for some reason you don't like, not stand them, because I feel like it's kind of weird to say, but like you're not into the group. Like you don't like look into like, oh, what are their personalities like, this or that. You just listen to their music, like you just listen to them as artists. That was me with CIX and like ONEUS, and Stacy. Those are like groups that I respect. I love their music. Their discography is amazing, but I never really got into the groups themselves. So sometimes, like, I might not. CIX is one of those cases, and I love them. I also have been calling them wrong. I've been calling them six. Please, I don't want any fixes to like come for me. Like, please don't come for me, guys. I can't. I don't have a bias yet. I like all of them a lot, and they're very attractive. But there is that. What else? There's more I can talk about, but I think I'm just gonna like kind of end it on this note. I have so much more I could talk about, and we can do a total like another episode on that. But there's so many things that I have for you guys in store. We're gonna do K-pop. We're gonna do relationships. I will tell you right now that my relationship life is very much non-existent in terms of romance. It doesn't exist, guys. But I will be there to talk to you guys about romance, because that's just what people love these days, romance, and that will never change. Anyways, so yeah, relationships, K-pop, K-dramas, and C-dramas, because oh my god, I could talk about it forever. There's so many things I want to talk about like K-pop with, K-dramas and C-dramas. What else? Talk about all things Asian, aka like what like my experience is like growing up as an Asian American, especially like as an Asian who is not particularly part of a super well-known group like Korean, Chinese, Japanese, like very like the like you know how East Asians are very much very popular now. Like I feel like for me, I've never really seen as much representation in terms of like Laotian people. I am Lao, so I feel like whenever I think about it, or like my whole life, I've always felt like that there was not as much talked about when it came to like Laotian people, just because when media did talk about like Asian people, it was like East Asians, so not Southeast Asians, so I'm so ready to do like an episode on that. I would love to talk about just my life as like growing up, like what I saw and what I felt, and if you guys could relate to that kind of stuff. Like there's so many things that, and then like random things, like maybe MBTI, because that's really popular lately, especially like I know in Korea, like if people meet each other first time, like they'll usually be like, 혹시 what's your MBTI? Something like that, like what's your MBTI? So yeah, I have so much to talk about, and I'm open to whatever you guys want to talk about. Of course, this first episode, and there's not gonna be a lot of people watching at first, so I will just like go with what I have, and then as we continue, if you guys have questions and topics you would like me to cover that I think I can cover, then I will go over those. So anyways, thank you for watching Talks with Jen. The name is still a work in progress. But thank you guys. Bye bye.